Good day, Junior Tikkie. This is Mrs. DeMelon speaking, and today we're looking at a new chapter. Chapter 8, which is salaries and wages. And today, more specifically, we're going to start at the bottom and look at the salary scale. So when you are employed, you're employed on a specific scale. So they give us activity 1 and say, analyze the following salary scale under the following headings. Year, increment per annum, salary per annum, and salary per month. And then they give us the salary scale just above it, 87,000 increased by 10,470 to 118,410. And then you have an increase of 17,930 to 172,200. And then an increase of 20,800 to a maximum of the scale of 213,800. And then there's some questions that follow regarding this scale. So if we now have to look at the salary, and we're going to have to look at the scale, analyzing it before we fill it in according to the headings, let's just look at the scale. So the 87,000 is the starting salary. So that is the salary that you will start with when you are employed. Then the 10,470 Rand is an annual increment and an annual raise that you will get until you reach your first notch. So in other words, you will receive an increase of 10,470 Rand until you reach 118,410 Rand. Thereafter, you have an annual increase of 17,930 Rand until you reach your second notch of 172,200. And then you'll receive an increase of 20,800 after you've reached the 172,200. And then your top of the scale is 213,800. And after this, you're going to have to renegotiate your salary and according to your job description and things that you've done. So let's look if we have to then analyze the scale according to the headings. So in year 1, you will have no increment because that's your starting year, and you'll earn 87,000 Rand per annum, in other words, per year. So your monthly salary is your per annum salary divided by 12. So if you divide the 87,000 by 12, you'll get 7,250. And remember, this salary scale is gross salary. In other words, total salary before any deductions. In year 2, you'll receive an increase of 10,470. So you'll have to add that to your bottom salary, 87,000. So at the end of year 2, you'll receive 97,470. Divide by 12 gives you 8,122.50 cents. And the same in year 3. You'll still get an annual increase of 10,470. Adding it to the 97,470 gives you a new salary of 107,940. And then year 4, that is the sort of mid where you reach your second notch. So after year 4, you're on your second notch, which is 118,410 per annum, and divide by 12 gives you 9,867.50 cents per year. Then after that, you'll receive your new increment. So in year 5, you'll receive the new increment of 17,930 that you're going to add to your second notch, 118,410, to get a yearly salary of 136,340. Divide by 12 gives you 11,361 Rand 67 cents per month. And then you'll continue with that notch until you reach the second notch, which is at the end of year 7. So at the end of year 7, you are on your second notch of 172,200 or 14,350 Rand per month. And after that, you'll receive your 20,800 Rand as a yearly increase until you reach the top of your scale, which is the 213,800 or 17,860 Rand and 67 cents. So this is basically the sort of layout of a salary scale. Now, let's look at the questions. So, question 2 says, an employee, Mrs. McGrath, started employment on the minimum notch of her salary scale, of the salary scale, and the one that we just looked at. And therefore, what is her monthly gross salary? Monthly salary. So if we look at this salary scale here at the bottom, we are basically in year 1, she earned 87,000 Rand per year. So she will earn 7,250 Rand per month. Then number 3, how many years would she receive an increment of 10,470? So let's look at this here at the in the scale that we've just done. So you will see there that we received it for 1, 2, 3 years before we increased it. Okay. Then question number 4, it says calculate the percentage increase in her salary in the second year of service. So a percentage increase, you'll always take sort of the increase of the current year minus the increase of last year, and then divide by the current salary. So you will have to say the 10,470 minus 0 divide by 87,000 over 100 times 1 gives you 12,303%. So she received 12,03% increase at the end of her second year. Then number 5, if Mrs. McGrath resigned in the 7th year of service, what salary per annum would she receive? So we just look at year 7, and year 7 then gives us an annual salary of 172,200 divided by 12 gives us a monthly salary. Let's just go back. A yearly salary of 172,200 per annum. And they actually asked for the per annum salary. Okay. Question 6 actually asks us to calculate or restart the or looking at the final. They say write up a salary scale using the following information. We start with a figure of 35,000 Rand per month. And then there's an annual increase of 15% per annum of the minimum salary, and is applicable for 3 years. Thereafter, there's a change to 20% per annum of the salary for 2 years. So if we start with 35,000 and we calculate 15%, we have an increase of 5,250. So if you take that 35,000 and you add it for 3 years, you'll end up on a notch of 50,750 Rand. So this 50,750 is your first notch. Then you take the 50,750 and you get an increase of 20% on that notch, which is then 10,150. And they say you receive that for 2 years. So if you add 2 years worth of increase, you'll get a notch of 71,050 Rand. So if you now have to write out the salary scale, we start with 35,000 times or increase by 5,250 to a maximum of 50,750 as your first notch. Then we increase by 10,150 to a maximum of the salary scale of 71,050 Rand. So when they ask you to do a salary scale, start with the calculations first and then show the final answer. So thank you for listening to me. So this is the basics of salaries, and next we will look at the basic calculations for wages and salaries in a wages and salaries journal. Thank you and goodbye from Mrs. De Mailon.